is Mahala Monday, so thank you very much for tuning in and being with us here on Mahala Monday today. My name is Dougal. Welcome. We're streaming live, as always, and here is Rhoda, everybody.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the second show of the morning and welcome to Mahala.
It's good to have you all here with us. And Rhoda, thank you very much for sticking around. You've done well by sticking around with me for so long.
I'm telling you.
You know what? I know it's tough, man. I know it's tough. Not nice being with me all the time, but it is brilliant to be with you, and I tell you why I say that, because there's a bit of a theme going today. Now, we know we do Mahala Monday for various reasons, and one of them is because of education, and we've been doing that. We've been bringing all these great educational information around entrepreneurship. We just outdid ourselves again with a previous episode, and social well-being is so important. Now, just bear with me here, Rhoda, because I'm bringing this up for a very specific reason. So, look at the year we've had, okay? The COVID year, as it will definitely be known. This is probably the year that in the planet, throughout mankind's history, that social well-being, and more importantly, reaching out and supporting one another, has never been that important.
That is so true.
That is what I think.
Yeah.
And also, the social awareness, not just of what we do as individuals, as families, within our communities, but also from a corporate perspective. And now we also in that time where traditionally has been called as the giving back time.
That's
the festive season. So there's a bit of a theme here that I want to, and so you kind of get the gist what I'm talking about. So when it comes to that, how important it is, and especially when you got to look at the needs and demands around us. And in every community, there's different demands. I don't know what's your take.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, Dougal. That is so true. And you know what, as you said, with COVID being historically going to be in our history books basically for years to come,
yes,
this is exactly where it's at right now, is where corporates and companies and people having to put out there and assisting, you know, our needy out there. And with this COVID, there's people going hungry, people's lost their jobs. You know, so there is a need at the end of the day for corporates to come forward and say, you know what, you're here to assist you, we're able to help you. And it's also true even for the corporates, it's quite difficult during this time as well, because they themselves had some cut downs, you know, had to do some cutbacks.
Yeah. I agree with you. It has been very difficult for everybody, and this is a term we hear, and as laymen, as public, we use these terms a lot. CSI. What does it mean? You know, when corporates jump to the party, we're not talking government now. We're talking with the corporate side. SED. These are terms that we hear. And what does it really mean? What is there? Is there something we can do to be in part of this? You know what? And so when we were thinking about this.
Yeah.
I know one or two people. You know one or two people.
Yeah.
So we've got a very dear friend, and I really say this. This is really a dear friend, and I actually want to say this before I introduce. My mom used to say to me, "Show me who your friends are, then I know who you are."
So true.
So I really took that advice to heart, and I try to make friends with people like you and people who are like the person we're about to introduce, because what can I say? Absolutely phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
You know.
I've also known Heidi, sorry, Dougal, for some time now. And I mean, we will be introducing Heidi Edson to you. And what a fabulous person. I mean, I love it to bits and pieces as well. And having to also be friends, like you said, your mother, you know, looking at who your friends are, I can truly say we've been friends for years.
Yeah. No, this is it. And you know, who better than to go to our friend and somebody is really, really phenomenal. And we're going to talk about that on the personal side, but we also want to know really, what is CSI? What is SED? What is this all about?
This is the right person.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, she is really a trailblazer, and she is a good friend. And I might as well say she's a good friend of the show. In a personal capacity, we know her as well. So, with that being said, but a trailblazer, definitely it is, and somebody that understands the demands of the community she operates in a lot better than most. And of course, what there is to do, and more importantly, for people like this, to project what possibly you could do. So, she is the SED Group Specialist for Sun International. So please put your hands together. Heidi Edson is joining us today. And yes, she is. Heidi.
Wow, man, what an introduction.
Listen, in no way, I mean, you know what, and I got to be honest with you. We are friends as well. But more importantly, this is a very serious thing. And fortunately enough, I've introduced presidents, heads of state. I got to be honest with you, but they got nothing on you.
Oh yeah.
Nobody, and it's going to be so evident in this interview right now. So Heidi, there's a lot that we want to talk about. We want to talk, leading into the show, Rhoda and I mentioned the fact that this has been a financially difficult year for households, for community, the country at large, for businesses as well. We're not even, just looking at what COVID has created with lockdowns and all of this, financial restrictions, all of that. Let's move that aside quickly. There is a vague understanding of what CSI is and what SED is.
Yeah.
Just to lead off the show, can you quickly just give us a definition of both?
So just quickly before I do that, I really want to say something. I want to commend Nickay and you guys on this powerful program that you have done. And I think you've reached out to so many people who need to get exposure in terms of everything that's online and available. So I think just from my side, I just want to commend you.
Pleasure.
CSI, corporate social investment. Google, you will know. We've done it. We've been there. We've seen it. So I think simply for me, and I think in the years that I've been involved, corporate social investment, merely giving a check and a handover donation. Socio-economic development, sustainable improvement for our local economy. Projects that have impact for years to come, like Mahala Monday.
I like the way you put it there. I like the way you put it there. So are you saying we had CSI, and that was basically companies were just handing over a check, and at some point social consciousness kick in, and purely social activists like yourself, people go, listen, it's pointless just handing over a check. We got to sustain this. If I put money towards a project, whether it was 5-6 years ago, I want to make sure that, because you want to equate that you've made a difference. And then the things then have developed from, let's call it CSI to SED, did that happen over time?
And I think I've been probably 20 years in the industry, and it's been a journey for us. I think to look at projects, and there were projects that I've been involved in that were not so good, and there are projects that have been amazing. So I just think that the long-term partnerships are very important. As corporates, we need to, and I always say to my team, guys, we cannot do CSI, SED from our desk. We gotta go out there into the community. How are we going to know what is out there, the impact, if we don't consult with the community? So that's a top CSI, SED tip for today.
Heidi, also just being obviously exposed to that as well. And something I have learned, and it's something I always bring across to all entrepreneurs, all business owners, is that, and especially for the companies actually giving this funding as well, that it doesn't necessarily mean that the money is going to help you. You need the education to be able to run that business, because that's, I think is exactly where a lot of companies actually fall short on funding companies or funding people out there. Education for me is very important, and I know you also quite heavy on that one as well, because you can give all the money in the world, but if the person is not educated, Google, it does tend to, the money will just disappear and nothing will then really develop, so very important, on that one.
Yeah.
Have you got any comments on that by any chance, Heidi?
Rhoda, I think for me it's very personal. I think you would know. And let's start with ECD, early childhood development. And why I say that is because I've been through it with my son. It has been an uphill challenge. And we need to start looking at early childhood development from the time that little one goes to grade R right up into university. Walk the talk with that child. And if my son was online today, he'd probably say, Mommy, you're embarrassing me. But I really had, insight into what it is to work with early childhood development.
So true, so true. So can you tell me, how did this all start for you? What was your journey?
Mevrou, ek is 'n dame van Mitchells Plain. And where's Marlene Leroux now? So,
Oh, yeah.
It started there. There has been, I hope that Mr. Gesanta into Rocklands, I hope, sir, you're not listening, but you have been instrumental. Thanks for being so strict. thanks for, making sure that I don't run away matric after exams. You called me in, you called me into to your office and said, hey, girl, your math results. So we need that. We need that role models. We need that sons of the world. And that's where the journey started. And funny enough, when I was at school, our career is it life orientation? That time it wasn't called that. There was PricewaterhouseCoopers that came to do a talk to us. And guess what? I landed up working for PricewaterhouseCoopers, not as a chartered accountant, but the marketing department.
Sure.
And that's very, very, very powerful. But I think for me, the journey started there. And one day, our chairman just said, Heidi, what you doing? It was a Saturday, and he said, let's just go to a community called Kailita, and there's a cricket team there that I want you to see. And gosh, there it started. And then I went from there and I came to Grand West Casino and Entertainment World. Awesome. Best time ever. And then from that, I headed up group for Sun International. So responsible for SED at the various casinos as we speak. 4 years later, and I'm still loving it. I am, like they say, I think the statement goes, they say you love your job, what do they say? If the passion comes, if you're committed. Yeah.
Almost definitely.
No, I was going to say that about you. I don't think you're a person who have worked a day in your life because, No, because you are passionate about it. But you know what, Heidi, what is really important, because I know people are watching this, organizations are watching this, and they always like looking at like, who do I speak to at a CSI or something? So here's a chance for you. If you have a question, put it through to us at Nickay Productions, and we'll post that question live to Heidi. Of course, if there's something she can't answer, we can always refer it. So that is where your journey has started. But people might be watching this and say, but your personal journey, let me just say, you grew up in Mitchell's Plain, like you said. You had certain role models at school. You worked in a business. You were exposed to these things at a young age. The job that you do today, would you say, and I think of it, because it sounds to me like that on paper, this is a vocation, straight out. Would you say that?
And I want to say quickly again that, you get your chartered accountants, you get your lawyers and all these wonderful things, and, bless their souls, doctors. But we really need to look at the creative side as well. The marketing guys of the world, the CSI, the socioeconomic development teams. I mean, that is really a career that the economy needs us, and I think we need them as well. But I think what's very important I want to come across is that passion. It has carried me right out. That passion and commitment. I am not shy, and I don't take no for an answer.
No, we know that.
And to all the NGOs out there and the NPOs, I know it's a difficult time through the crisis and the pandemic, but don't give up. And don't be shy to call. I always say I'm available. I shouldn't say that, but if you want anything in life, you gotta go for it.
That is so true. That is so true. And that's exactly where the show has also been for that exact reason, Heidi, is for the students and people that doesn't necessarily want to be a doctor or and look at you, and you're a good example of having to put out there and going for what you love, what's your passion. And I mean, being the SED specialist at Sun International, I mean, wow, I can only take my hat off for you at the end of the day. And for even if there's students out there watching this right now, you know what? This is exactly what we've been saying at Mahala. Look at what you love, look at your passion, and you know what? You put it out there and you can make a success of it at the end of the day. So on that topic with SED, involvement with, obviously with Sun International, how has this actually evolved at this point at Sun International?
Wow, it's been a real journey. So from doing events and launches, and Google will remember something popped up and on my social media a few years ago. We did a Christmas party. You will remember it was Father Christmas / MC. Rhoda, you took the photos, by the way. And I mean, those type of things just makes my heart, skip a beat, because I mean, we out there in the community, and although now being an SED specialist, I look a lot at corporate governance. Gosh, I've got triple B audits coming out of my ears sometimes, which is good. We need to do the reporting. And I think anyone that wants to get into this career, there's two things I want to take home today is passion and commitment and going the extra mile. I cannot reiterate going the extra mile for your community, for each and everyone. I always say, and I think, Rodi, you know this, is that even if we make a difference in one child, learner, person's life,
Oh, yeah.
we will get there. You know, and I think that is very important. I get up and I do my daily prayers, but when I get to the office, it's like 100 miles an hour, right up until the very end. And I love that through at home as well with my little ones and my big.
So just looking at how things at Sun International has evolved, and especially with SED, let me ask you this, just in your humble opinion, how important is it for any corporate out there to have some sort of CSI, SED program in place? How important is it? Because I'm of the opinion, and I say this humbly just from my own perspective. Yes, you with a great company, Sun International, where they really market leaders in the industry, but they also out there and they're really doing things. And they got passionate people like yourselves, and you'll be the first to say, of course, great team makes the work easy. You got a great team around you. You guys identify certain projects. You do all of this, but how important is it for any company to actually make a CSI or SED effort to really do something? Because as soon as I hear of any business that I've supported, and or corporate for that matter, and they don't do that, I almost think you become a pariah as a business. So how important is it for businesses right now, and especially in this time, to keep their ears on the ground, have their eyes firmly in their market share, and to really operate and sort of evolve with demands of community? How important is that, Heidi?
Perfect question, because my journey started out, where it was 20% CSI work and maybe 80% marketing. So I wasn't really in there. But companies like Sun International has taken the leap and really, really, invested in the SED program. Not only the SED program, but in the SED team, I would say. And we take someone like Dr. Hassan Adams, part of GPI and obviously Grand West as well. And he, in a board meeting, he would always say, let's, give CSI the platform. And they gave you accountability, they gave you responsibility, and you ran with it. And they trusted you because they knew that this, department or this team would take SED further. So all kudos to Sun International for actually having a full-on, socio-economic development team to manage these programs.
Okay. So on,
you know what? Sorry, Rhoda, because I want to say that because it is exactly that. Because and this is now just a personal reflection, and I want to quickly say that because I was working with you at a certain event that we were doing something, and in fact the beneficiary of it, this lady, Mama Rosie, she'd be doing phenomenal stuff, and I mean they had all the politicians there, all the ministers were there, everybody was there at this particular event. And there was two things that you don't know this, but I'm going to tell the world now, because I overheard your conversation with her. You were sort of standing that way. So I was just, not eavesdropping, but you were talking loud enough so I could hear. So let me share this with you, okay? Because there were two things that stood out for me in that conversation. And it was basically you guys were saying, all right, let's just do a few acknowledgements because there's a couple of people here we got to thank. And thank you very much. But let's not forget the work important and why we're here. And the two things that came out of your conversation was like, there's government officials here, and you were like, let them be here because we're showing them the way. They can meet us there. Where they think the destination is, we've passed that destination already. We're building a new day. And it's this sort of thing that you are driving. And this is what people probably don't understand.
Yeah.
They think it's just a little, no, it's not. You've got your eyes and ears so firmly on the pulse of the community.
And on the ground.
And on the ground. You are really different levels. That's all I'm saying.
Totally.
And I mean, I just wanted to share that. I'm sorry for eavesdropping on your conversation, but this is a conversation you had. So with that being said, what would then be key drive things for a good CSI project? How do you manage it? Any business that want to do something like this now, how would they manage it? What would be the motivation behind it? What would be three drivers that makes a project good?
Have your ears and eyes on the ground. I cannot, stress more that again, CSI is not done from your desk. You need to be out there in the community. But I do think that our SED, specialists and teams are very committed to the project. So they also have a great bond with the community, and they build very, very good stakeholder relationships. I think that is very important. And then again, I cannot stress it even more, passion.
Oh, yeah.
And some people know that I walk into a school or I walk into an organization, and if Mr. X doesn't say, welcome everybody, we welcome you, we want you to enjoy our school, and we want to appreciate what you guys do, there's already a sense that this is going to be an impactful project. And I am a firm believer of going back and back and back again in terms of just checking up how's everything going, not only the donation that we made, but the impact that we made in the lives. And I love the chef program of Sun International. Just this full circle of getting them in here. And then someone said, and I'm not going to mention the principal's name, but she's Heidi. I love coming to the casino. I said, yes, ma'am, I can see you there sometimes. And she said, she knew me if I mentioned, and she said to me, but what would have been a perfect thing? I'm sitting there, at the machine, and I see the executive chef, and that executive chef was actually in my class, or we taught this person at school. That is what makes socioeconomic development and impact on the economy.
Yeah. So Heidi, let me just ask you this quickly, in just like a 30-second. Is there any projects that you could quickly mention for us, things that you would have done as part of within the underneath the umbrella of Sun International in terms of these projects? Just the one or two that you have done that you could mention.
Well, you mentioned Papu Malele, and then I think Shoko Health Center has been an amazing project. And then another one is the Bursary project. I mean, I think you would also be very familiar with, Sun International's Bursary program as well.
Yeah.
And I think those three are quite key projects, and more so we're embarking on a brilliant Adopt a School project at all our properties. And more info to come. I think when you have Mahala Friday, we'll come on and talk about that.
Hint, hint. I like that one, Heidi.
No pressure, guys. No pressure.
I like that one. I'll hold you to that one for sure. So Heidi, just listening to you and having all this passion at the end of the day, there must have been something you carried through you all this time, coming from where you've come from PwC and then just moving forward and having to be at Sun International right now. Could you tell me if there's one value that you have brought across through all of this in your journey up until where you are today? What is that value?
Girlfriend, I'm going to say trust your gut.
Ayo, trust your gut.
Trust your gut. And again, one person, touch that person, because I promise you that legacy is going to carry on for a very long time, because that one person will be able to take the baton and run with it. And there's a very special lady that has also just gone through the Psyche program. And if we touch this one girlie, I promise you the next Heidi's and the next Rhodas and Dougal, they're going to come through. That's our next generation.
Yeah.
Oh my word, you touched my heart there, Heidi. Oh, it's very close to my heart as well. And I know we share exactly the same passion on creating powerful women. And that's exactly our example we need to set at the end of the day. Dougal, not excluding you, my love, but yeah, I know the two of us are very passionate about empowering our ladies at the end of the day.
No, but it is a passion that we all got to share.
Almost definitely.
And it is important, and we got to have this conversation. This has got to be the normal conversation. For too long, we just assumed that people knew that. No,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm raising a little girl.
There we go.
So this is the most important thing. That this is something I tell her every day, and that is the most important. For too long, we've assumed we know. We don't know. People don't know.
Yeah. And it's
we
good that
can't be
many-
having this
yeah.
conversation in 2020. Come now.
And it's so good that you're actually talking about it as a man, Dougal.
no, it
and the
is.
men need to voice their opinions. They need to say and make aware of the fact that our women are important, our children, girl children are important right now, and give them that recognition as well. So you as fathers having to raise strong daughters is also very important.
And you can just see how the show is going to evolve. That this is a 7-hour conversation, and we
7
wouldn't even
hours.
scratch the surface.
Mahala Friday, guys. Mahala Friday.
Mahala
At
Friday.
Nickay Productions, if you have a question, it is Group SED specialist Heidi Edson here with us, and of course, as with the wonderful SED projects that they've been doing with Sun International, they've really changed the lives of hundreds and thousands of individuals. But we also want to find out from a personal perspective. But sticking in the sort of the corporate sense, it has been a challenging year. 2020 is the year we can't wait for the year to wrap up. I mean, we're really within the doortsnikker, the final home stretch of the year. I mean, it can't come soon enough. Heidi, what is there that corporates can do different? Looking at the COVID year, what has happened? What is there that corporates can do different? Because if you remember earlier in the interview, I mentioned to you, if a corporate doesn't do something, I almost look at that corporate now as a pariah. You're not moving with the time. The demands have changed. If you're not green, if you're not environmentally aware, anything like that, a corporate can be shunned.
So, spot on. And I think, just from where we coming from, I think from a corporate point of view, and again, business as usual, not anymore. I think the new norm, we're into the new norm. Maybe also what I want to say is the difference that corporates can do specifically in this, because I do know that specifically in the hospitality industry, it's been tough. It has been very, very tough. The pandemic has hit us hard personally from a corporate point of view. And I think we need to look at different ways and avenues of doing things and assisting and supporting. I want to again mention, look at Mahala Monday. Nickay Photography, small business. And I'm sure it has been tough in the industry, specifically in photography, but you have changed things around. You have personally invested, and I promise you, you will see the rewards. If you did not sit on your laurels, like they say, you came up with ideas and you have acted on them. So that's what we need to do. Let's change the new norm. Let's do different. Let's do different. And I think at Sun International, in this past 6 months, we have really, really looked at what is different. And if you recall, our focus areas are education, sports, and the arts. But on Friday evening, we actually supported the Smile Foundation. Completely different angle, completely different avenue. So I think, look at different ways, even for NGOs as well. And also, we should be supporting NGOs, not necessarily on a financial assistance point of view. NGOs, come on the show, get exposure into the new norm, I would say.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Heidi, for some punting our Mahala again there. Just a quick one. So you've done so many programs and, done a lot in the community. If you had to choose one of these causes, because obviously having to do what you're doing, it's a cause, it's something that's pushing you all the time. If you had to choose which one is the closest to your heart, which one would it be?
Oh, tough question.
Very tough one.
Are you shocking to someone?
Unfortunately, time is against us, so I'd say the cause that's close to your heart.
I'm going to say two quickly, if you don't mind.
Okay, go for it.
Quickly. And I think it's because it comes with experience. Number one would be early childhood development and making sure that there are role models in our communities. And when I talk about role models, when I want to go into a school, I want to see the Heidi, the Dougal, the Rhoda. I want to see those people that have come from these communities and have actually, become someone that you can rely on, that you can, like Dougal's mother said, and become friends. And then lastly, I am very passionate about small business. I have seen and walked with a lot of small businesses, specifically in the Western Cape. And just to see they evolve into where they were and where they are now. So those two are top key in my heart.
Beautiful.
No, that's brilliant. Heidi, now I want to touch base on a personal level here as well, because your involvement in the community, of course, speaks to itself, and we're going to end on that. But quickly, you were featured. What was it? The Mitchell's Plain? What's it? Plekkie and Nissan book. You were featured in that, and there were a whole host of Mitchell's Plain role models featured in that. Now I know that. That was brilliant, brilliant, and. You highlighted something as simple as your primary school teacher. I mean, primary school teacher, we're talking, look, I know how old you are, so I know this is a couple of years ago, but I mean, you had high school, you had tertiary, you had all of that. You went back, and does that now make sense why you say early childhood development? Because you actually highlighted and gave kudos to a primary school teacher when you were featured in this book.
Mr. Atkins, gosh, I hope you are listening, sir. Standard 4. Google, what is standard 4 now? Great, help me out there. I'm getting old. There we go. This saw this little girl, and I will never forget, in Ridgeville Primary, by the way, Brown, we had Brown on the Brown school. Sitting at the desk, in the corner, shy. And if I could say anything to that, sir, and Heidi as a younger self, I would say, never give up. Trust in your instincts. And just, the sky is the limit. You know that Biggie song, Notorious B.I.G.?
Oh, yeah.
The sky is the limit. And it's true. And all kudos to Mr. Percy Atkins. He's now the principal of Ridgeville Primary. And he is still doing amazing work. And yes, Pauline, I want to thank her as well, because she was the driver behind Plekkie.
Okay.
So you were in that. The idea, of course, from your 9 to 5 businesses as well, and you know what, we could really wrap up. Anna, we've got some questions in from viewers as well, which I'm going to pose to you. But on a personal level, because you do this all the time, you've also got personal initiatives that you are involved in.
Oh, this is what I love, and again, I could possibly get involved and volunteer at any organization. But even for me, I think Rhoda will know, anywhere I go, I walk into a shop, I walk into the mall, and I see someone that I know, I love this word. I'm connecting you with someone else who will be connecting you.
Yeah.
and if I can just connect, this person with someone that, is in the industry, or whoever this person is interested, or whatever career the person is interested, and you must call this person and you must call that person. And then later on, you just hear that there has been such massive impact made, in that one person's life. That drives me. That honestly drives me.
I got to be honest, it's funny you should say this. Let me just say this quickly. The funniest thing is there's a lot of times where I get contacted to do something professionally for what I do. And there's times where I can't do it. But then I will basically look at, if I can't do it, I know a lot of other performers, but there's always like 3 or 4 immediately go-to people. Do you know what I mean? Because they're a little bit more like me. We share the same passions and things like that. So I know if you wanted me, then this is the closest of me there is. And this is exactly what you're hitting on. It is connecting that people, because don't you find the people that you work with, they share the same amount of passion. They all driving the same narrative forward.
Mm-hmm. Spot on. And I mean, you and Rhoda are both in my go-to list, so I hope that I'm on your go-to list.
Definitely.
I've got a big list. Look at all these names, baby.
Heidi, talking about you now, I cannot truly say that we the three, even, our back end here is somebody else on the back end here as well. That's doing all the sound and everything here, which you're not seeing on the screen right now.
They're wearing a white shirt. You got to wear black shirt, baby.
Yeah, yes, he's wearing a white shirt, so he can't come on this side because he must wear a black shirt. And you have been so instrumental on connecting us, and actually creating what we have today. And you know what? I have to say exactly what you had said before this, because of you walking into a room and actually just introducing and wanting to create that network. You're brilliant at that, and I must take my hat off for you for
Thank
that.
you.
And and that's why Mahala has also been created, because I mean this is basically us meeting Dougal, making friends, and having to meet him via you as well.
Yeah. Do you know what is really funny? And we got actually a comment on, and we're going to keep this anonymous because it basically says, well done to Mahala Monday for being innovative and bringing out this program this morning, and always being so passionate about development. And it's a really great comment. And it further speaks and says, Heidi, bless you, bless you, bless you. May you long continue to do exactly what you do. So, that is a great comment that we have here. And Heidi, I want to get into the fact of how important is it to leave a legacy and to button up our chat that way. And not only just a legacy for now, but especially considering 2020. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially considering that. And there's something else I want to ask you after that. But first, how important is leaving a legacy? I know when people like you use fancy words like footprint, that sort of social contribution, you know what I mean? But a legacy, I mean, how important is it for any corporate, for any individual to have a good story? And what is there that we can do to make it happen right now?
Guys, what we're doing right here is leaving a legacy. This moment in history is leaving a legacy. Somewhere out there is students, there are adults. I remember on your show there was a program where it was one of the universities, and I remember someone saying, "Oh no, you can still start studying after 42 or after 40." I was like, "Wow, continue 80 and still study." So what we're doing right here is a legacy. We are actually creating a legacy by exposing and by creating, like the person said, an innovative platform for the next generation. We need to keep this up. The exposure that you guys are doing, and you never know, I promise you, the impact in the long term is going to be enormous.
Wow.
So I think from a legacy point of view, for me, it would be, I want to see some little Heidis out there that connects people in the mall.
Yeah. And Heidi, with that being said, how do we, going forward, how do we change the mindset of corporates and organizations and everybody to be that sort of productive contributor to the community, to not be blinded and be blindsided and have the demands and the needs of your community in your blind spot? How do we, as corporate, how do we go out there and actually try and educate ourselves with the needs and try and make a productive difference? Because for years we've been talking about this. We've got the government doing things and we don't really see it, but it's happening underneath. I mean, and we're all tired of this. Come on, how do we go out? You've been doing this for years. You've been setting the pace. What makes you different? How do you see the things that we don't?
Let me tell you, for me at the beginning, it was, and this is from my own opinion, it was not about specifically me. It was the CEOs of the Sun International, the Dr. Hassan Adams, that paved the way for me to do what I'm still doing today. The CEOs that have the passion, because at the end of the day, they are the ones that are going to say, here's the budget, and this is, go out there and look for the impactful projects. So it starts from the top, guys.
So true.
It's the CEOs, it's your board that support you in terms of doing what you need to do and making the impact. I truly believe that. I've seen it. I've been there. It's been a long and hard journey, but the top, that's where it started.
Just on that, Heidi, and I mean, I want you to basically looking at the young girls out there and looking at the girls out there and what you've achieved. And I know for a fact it has been a great challenge getting to be where you're at right now. It hasn't been easy. And the challenges and I'm sorry I'm bringing this up again, we as women having to face as well in this very trying, difficult, world at the end of the day, having to put your name out there. What would you tell that little girl looking at you right now? What would you tell her?
Never give up. And I'm very emotional as we speak because I do remember that little girl sitting in that small desk with that brown uniform on and scared, and just didn't trust anything and didn't know that this, and I promise you, never, it sounds cliche, but never give up. And again, don't take no for an answer. I will come back and I will haunt you. I want you to give me the opportunity to showcase what we can do, and we as females can do, and obviously to impact on society. So never, ever, ever give up. Right, Doodle?
Yeah, no, never give up.
True,
Because
true.
I actually want to ask you that, and it's funny you should say that, because do you find that what you do has got a bit of a Schindler's List effect syndrome? And let me explain.
I was gonna say
my,
explain.
My new term.
Yeah, let's
Let me
hear,
explain.
let's
So
hear.
you've seen the movie, right? Because with Schindler, with Oscar Schindler,
right.
look, I was just a history guy, so I know this. But basically in the movie, and he's just gone and then trying to save as many lives. And he basically did that throughout, and although he was working for the one side, he started doing the good thing, the proper thing, and he got to the point where he was really on his lasts and outs, but he would go as far as, if you would sell his own kidney in order to save another life. Now I look at that concept, and I think I would describe you in that way as well, because you're constantly evolving, you're constantly doing the 1% better, you're constantly doing that. And this is just because I know you personally as well. But having a look at that now, this is such a trying time for businesses, for everybody. And like you say, speaking to that little girl in the brown uniform, is that what you mean? Don't just never give up. Just keep doing it. Because if we all had to do that 1%, 0.5%, that was a lot of percent somewhere.
Listen, I do believe that for me, even if one day I'm, not with Sun International, I'm with another company, I will still continue doing what I do. I think that it's just something that is, been instilled in me from, and I talked about lots of principles and role models and stuff, and I think I will just continue doing it, because I truly, truly love what I do. It has been a difficult road, but it's been the best road.
Heidi, and I know we're going to wrap up very soon, but I've got one more question. Because earlier you said it is very important that we have passionate CEOs. We have passionate people in charge of the big businesses that can really help. Because every time, and let me just say this right now to any would-be politician, to all the current politicians, every time you make a speech, I don't know what you say. And I am a highly intelligent person, because everybody is always talking private sector must be government. We always hear, but nobody know. We don't know, and I'm sorry, this is my personal. So it's a time that you wake up, and that is why I say earlier. I said you and this lady that was with this wellness organization or a non-profit organization. You said government can meet us. We know where the finish line is, but that finish line constantly shifts. You never get to, the goals constantly shift, because you never win. Once you've achieved success in a certain project, another 20 is open up, or you would have identified another 40 shortcomings where you need to get in. What is there? Because you said earlier the CEOs need to be passionate. Do you know how difficult it is to speak to a CEO? How difficult it is to get in touch with corporate South Africa CEOs. So the point is here, what is there that they must do? What is there that we can do? And how can we help as a normal layperson, as me? How can I help just my neighborhood?
There's so many people out there. I'm talking about individuals. Let's leave the NGOs and those things, for later. But I think there are so many individuals in our community that is doing great work. Have we tapped into them? Have we tapped into that communities, and just it starts there. So there's a community that I live in, and there's a beautiful project that they are doing, a Santa shoebox, donation, and that is where it starts, I think. And again, I always say, don't go into a community and say, we as corporate would like to do the following. Go back and say, as a community, what do you think are the key main things that we can support you? And as an individual, Dougal, and I know you will do this, and each and every one out there, you actually tap into our communities and see what we can do, because that little bit helps, and that's where we start. I do believe firmly that that's where we start. Tapping into your own community first.
Yeah, that's so true, Heidi. And I mean, good example is, and I'm quite proud. I mean, my son's probably going to be upset mentioning this, and you're talking about the shoe project, Santa's shoebox, and he and his girlfriend basically took it upon themselves to actually also. I saw the balls and I saw all these things there for kids, and I'm like, okay, we don't have children in the house. And they like, no, it's for the Santa shoebox, because they say there's so many kids out there that you don't realize at the end of the day what a soccer ball means to them. And they actually don't have this. And it made them excited, wanting to actually give kids to these kids, that's not as fortunate. And you tend to forget sometimes, a lot of people coming from the world of privilege, forget that these kids don't even know what a soccer ball looks like, and they're kicking around maybe something that's not even a soccer ball. So yeah, hats off to you guys, because you're getting your word out there. Well done.
Yeah. Heidi, I'm all questioned out. I really am, and I got to be honest with you, because we've honestly touched 2%.
Only 2%.
And 2%, I'm being liberal, I'm being generous here, because for me, I think we basically at the intro of this conversation, to be quite honest. And especially somebody like you as well, who's really, you're a trailblazer in this, because I know, and I'm going to tell you this, you might not know this, all the corporates are looking at you and what you have been doing with the company that you have represented, because although you represent a major corporate and doing SED work, you also do a lot of stuff personally, and you really tap into the needs. You have, it is amazing. You got to keep doing what you do. And I know Rhoda's going to ask you about last comments. And and I also want to ask you, when Rhoda asks you that, what advice is there? What advice is there is what you're going to ask, tell people?
And your last comments with it.
I'm confused, but okay, advice and last comment.
Yes.
How many questions is this now? It feels like 90. Advice, go what's in your heart. And go what's in your heart. And I think in this time and in this pandemic, it's tough. Many of us won't be able to celebrate Christmas. If we can change one life, we can change many. And that's the advice I want to give. I don't think anyone will forever forget my mall comment.
No.
But that is the truth. You know, we have to, I think, and love is very important as well. That we protrude love and that we give with a good heart and a kind heart. That is the advice. And then lastly, and obviously, I don't like, he knows. So to all the corporates out there, this is a challenge for you. Corporate Western Cape, government, Department of Social Development, corporate Johannesburg, corporate South Africa. Mahala Monday and Nickay Photography are the trailblazers. Google, Rhoda, the crew at the back there, you guys have done an amazing job. I'm just a little bit disappointed that I don't have a green screen, but okay, it's fine. We'll get there. I want to challenge you guys out there. If they can do this as a small business, so can you. Think about how many lives we can change via online. I'm technology challenged sometimes with social media. But this has been something that I take my hat off to you guys, because you have been exposing through online the youth of tomorrow, the new generation, us that's over 21, to show that there is information out there and that we can make a difference. So I'm challenging corporates again. You need to support Mahala Monday so that we can have Mahala Friday in 2021. And I thank you.
Well said. Thank you, Heidi.
I'm having a good chuckle at what you're saying, but it is absolutely true, Heidi. And thank you for saying that. But you know what? Your compliments, it needs to be directed to Rhoda and Alfonso for doing this, because they you said it at the beginning, they constantly evolving and they're constantly thinking and constantly, how can we make a difference? This program started with those words. How do we make a difference? Let me be very honest with you. How do we make a difference? And I was told straight up, listen, my brother, you sitting at home, you're a performer, theaters are closed. How do you make a difference? This is how I ended up in this chair. This is how that conversation started. How do you make a difference? Well, we are here. We're trying to make a difference.
Definitely.
And we hope to have that we can have a quantifiable difference. And this is we looked at things and we had this discussion, amongst the three of us, Alfonso, Rhoda, and myself. Education, social well-being, these are important things, because COVID was basically, let's pull thumb, it's here.
It's here.
Because COVID caught me with, I was ill prepared for this.
I think everyone.
No idea. So, and it was a hard question. And I like what you've said, because you've answered a lot of hard questions. And this is a hard topic.
It is.
It is a hard topic. And sadly, we didn't even touch 0.5% of everything I wanted to ask you.
Hence, the Mahala Friday. There we go. I did you on that one. I heard that one.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you, Heidi.
What a lovely show.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Heidi. I really thoroughly enjoyed that. And, keep on being that person that you are. You are phenomenal. And I can truly say my daughter seriously looks up to you as, a real leader in our future, and a real leader as a woman. And she really cherishes you as a person, because I know she's constantly looking out to see what you're up to.
Yeah. Heidi, and also quickly before you go, social collab, quickly, 10 seconds, what is it?
It's something that's close to my heart. And just like Mahala Monday, it's evolving. I'll leave it at that, because we'll talk about that the next 2021 Mahala Friday.
There we go.
I had to dig it in, man. I'm a fisher, baby. I'm a fisher.
I don't know how you can actually, I don't know how anyone can sit there and not think that we're going to do this Mahala Friday. I'm planting a seed, and I'm planting a seed for the next corporates to come on board, like the psychers, and everybody else. So come, guys, support this initiative. This is groundbreaking.
No, it certainly is.
Thank you.
You know what? We can only support what you say, but more importantly, I got to be honest, and I don't want to speak for anybody at Nickay Production, but I can honestly tell you, from where I'm sitting and what I observe, they definitely follow examples like yourself,
Most
because
definitely.
that is exactly what it is.
Most definitely.
Heidi Edson, everybody, Group SED Specialist for Sun International, definitely a trailblazer, and she's been doing her thing. And though it has been just glorious talking to you. And sorry, but we could talk on another whole day, because
So true.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry you couldn't be sitting next to us here, Heidi, because that I know exactly what we were going to do. But obviously with our COVID happening and everything's happening, it's so sad. Protocol, yes, that we cannot have you here. But believe me, spiritually, we know you here. So we feel you.
And this is exactly, and you know what, it's funny you should say that, Rhoda, because on that note, our health statuses are known to each other. So when you see Rhoda and I, we're sitting a big distance. Obviously, the angle is how it's been shot.
Yeah.
But we're sitting a pretty decent distance from one another as well. And our statuses are well intact with one another. Just to put it out. Heidi, but it's been an absolute pleasure having you along here with us today. And thank you so much for your time. I don't have any questions. Do you have a question for Rhoda?
For Dougal.
Under the bus, baby. Under the bus.
Oh, this Dougal.
The bus.
Yeah.
Rhoda, now that you've heard everything, what does SED stand for, my darling?
Oh, my word. Seriously. Dougal, I'm putting that one on you.
Wait, and here it is. And she said it. I thought that was funny. She said it. All right. So social economic development. I got that. Yes? Yeah. Oh, you were meant to answer. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much, Dougal.
I'm useless.
Okay, Dougal, help me out.
Social
You
economic
here for me?
development. Yeah. No, social economic development.
There we go.
That
See,
is
he's
it.
got my back. He's got my back, Heidi. This man's got my
I
back.
thought the moment was when she said it. I thought that was it. Anyway, Heidi, listen, it's been an
Heidi,
absolute
thank
pleasure
you
having
so
you
much.
along. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so
guys.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And if people want to find out more, if you're watching this now, and let's be honest, you know what? Somebody like Heidi Edson, and she touched on a personal life story as well. She grew up on the Cape Flats, and she's done amazing things throughout her career. But more importantly, the stuff that she's done so far has been impressive, and I can guarantee you right now, she is one of those citizens that we have, and we're lucky to have in the country, that the things that is about to come will blow your mind. It is that simple. It is that simple. And this is a person that speaks to exactly to the fact, because I get so annoyed and irritated, and I don't want to end with this, but when politicians speak, I don't understand what you are saying. But you're talking about how you're going to meet our needs. Now, corporate South Africa, you got to do something. 2020 gave us a proper knock. And a second wave, all these things coming. There's needs in our community. We can make a difference. You don't have to change the whole world tomorrow.
So true.
But you can do 1% different. You can do just one thing. If we all don't even do the whole thing, just do half a thing. Pay it forward in that way. If we all do half a thing, it's basically about 60 million people here.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine 30 million things being done? If we all just do half a thing?
And you know what, Dougal, on that as well, and a lot of people is always saying, oh, what's the government going to do? What's the government going to do? It's not necessarily what the government's going to do, it's what you're going to do that's going to make that difference. So it starts at home. So if you want to make changes within your community, within yourself, you need to start at home and start looking at yourself and not at what the government's going to do for you. It's exactly where I find
No, and it's
myself.
exactly that. It is exactly practice what you preach. I'm sorry, I can't wait for government anymore. It's, you know what I mean? We've been protesting about certain things. We've been asking for certain things. Thank you. Come now. It's 2020. It's 2020. I am looking at the dawn of 2021, and I'm going to own this, COVID or not. Trust me on this. And we're all going to do it.
Definitely.
So once again, thank you very much
Thank
to
you.
Heidi Edson, SED Group Specialist for Sun International. Keep up doing the work that you do. May you long be blessed. And you know what? We are going to have Heidi back, and we actually want to. I actually want to talk, and just to prove the point, actually to people that lives they've touched and things that they've done. And here's the most amazing thing. Let me just quickly tell you this, because I've emceed many of one or two of the functions, and those people that were involved with certain of those projects, they are plowing back. They're not doing 1%; they're doing 155% back. And it's just da-da-da. I have nothing more to say, Rose.
Shocking.
She's still there.
Shocking! Heidi's still there.
But stay safe, guys, and have a great festive season. And don't forget that person in the mall.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Will do.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Heidi.
Heidi. Everybody have a
Bye.
fabulous...
Bye.
Thanks, Heidi. So, everybody, this is our last show, basically, for Mahala Monday. There is going to be a little bit of a closing show as well.
Yes.
But this is officially our last show, and what a way to end it. Wow.
No, certainly.
You know, I must say, but what a way to end it. And guys, have a fabulous festive season out there. Be safe. And you know what? If possible, stay at home. Look after yourselves.
Yeah,
Sanitize, wash those hands, keep your social distancing.
Yeah, no, that is definitely the one thing we got to do. And firstly, we just got to say thank you very much for watching the last couple of weeks and being on this journey with us. We've learned as much as you have learned, and we will promise you this. We will continue to go out there and bring you the information that can make a productive and a positive change to your life. This is what it's all about. We're not waiting for anybody. We're doing it for ourselves now. And you got to join us on this journey. We're all going to do it. Thank you very much to all the guests over the last couple of weeks. Thank you very much for Heidi, because Heidi has now just motivated me more for the new year. This is the most important thing. And to exactly to what you've said, Rhoda, this festive season, let's give ourselves the best possible chance for the healthiest and most prosperous new year. Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. Don't wait for anybody. Levels. The level you want to achieve, put it in there. We are going to have some special highlight shows for you coming up over the next days. Just watch our feeds on social media as we put a little highlights package together for you. That we are going to do, of course, over the next 3 days. But from my side, it's been a pleasure with Mahala Monday, baby. We will see you soon before the year is over.
So true. See you guys. Keep well.
Ta-da.
Bye.